Exactly.
No, I'm gonna sit here so we I didn't hit that room this morning. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, are you guys excited?
Yeah.
I only had 2 cups of coffee today, Maria. Look at this. I mean, when is somebody just gonna bring me a Pops coffee again? I mean, that's all I ask. That's all I ask. All right, you guys, are you excited to hear from this dude right here?
Yeah.
Hey, on Zoom. Hey, you guys. Thanks for joining us. So I remember when Trent came here.
I do too.
Okay, headset on. You guys, inside the office, his little office, he had scripts like everywhere, the whole wall, every single wall had scripts and had stuff on it, every single one. And I'm thinking, this dude is serious. He is gonna rock this thing. And I am so proud of you because here you are.
Thanks, Robin.
Gonna tell us everything, all your secrets. And you guys, you are, you come see me afterwards.
I think Dustin, I don't know if I said all the secrets.
So anyway, you guys are in for a real treat. Thank you for doing this. Get ready because this guy's about to blow your mind on 178, 176. How many appointments?
So technically, if you were to do it for the whole year, it'd be somewhere under 170, like 165.
Oh, who's counting? Just 165 appointments. How many set 10 appointments this week? He did. All right, you guys, give it up for Trent Paul.
If you guys ever need a professional hype man, just hire Robin because she's great at it. Apparently. I mean, Jesus, wow. Okay. So I appreciate you guys all coming by. I'm really excited about the turnout. It's almost like lead gen's actually important to real estate agents. Who would have guessed? That's awesome. So obviously, whenever I got approached to do this class around the second week of April, I didn't know that this many people would come out. So thank you guys for coming out. Like I said, it's almost like lead gen's important.
Like 10 other people on Zoom right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a full house today. Cool. So my name's Trent. Obviously, I'm the inside sales agent for Team Kimberly Real Estate. I started in, let's say, June of 2021 as an inside sales agent. Since then, I've set just over 140 appointments. If you count that for the whole year, technically it's somewhere above 150, between 150 and 170. I said 165. Who knows what it's going to end up being after a full year? But I mean, that's a lot of appointments, right, guys?
Yes.
I mean, what would we all be able to do if we could set just under 170 appointments in a year? That's an awesome business. That's an awesome income for everyone in here. So that's why I wanted to kind of come in here, share a lot of the things that I've learned over the last year, and a lot of things that have helped me and my team find success. So what I kind of wanted to start off doing, I'm taking a play out of Dustin's playbook when he teaches classes. I want to go around the room, have everyone introduce themselves, just say your name, your goal for this year, whether that be income, volume, transactions, whether it's a personal goal, you want to buy a car, you want to buy a house, investment property, a boat, whatever it is that if at the end of 2022, you were able to achieve, it'll make you feel like you did well, you were a success. I want to hear about that. And then third, why are you here today? What brought you here? What is it specifically that you want to hear about in terms of, what I've done successfully? What is it? Is it lead sources? Is it scripting? What is it? So I can make sure that we're all, kind of getting advantage from this and getting something out of this. Do you want to start off?
No.
I
I have someone who's worried about a medical condition, so I mean.
Fair enough. Start to you. Do you want to start off?
That's a lot of questions.
So 1, your name, 2, your goal for this year, and then 3, what do you hope to get out of this class?
Perfect. Okay, so I'm Marquita Smith.
Mhm.
I lost that second question already. Okay, I look forward to, my goal for the year
Mhm.
is I would like to, I will sell 23 homes.
Nice.
And I look forward to seeing about how to set the appointment in the organization that comes with setting the appointments and how to keep track of everything.
Got it. Great. So appointment setting organization and then and tracking. And you said scripts? Okay, cool. All right. Austin.
Yes, hello. My goal for my first year real estate, Roy. And what I'm looking to get out of the class, wow.
You say your goal is,
Rookie of the year.
and how many transactions, and of just the market center or the whole region? And how many transactions will that take? You guys
And what I'm looking to get out of class is how the heck I'm gonna get there by making.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Awesome.
You gave it the right time.
So what's that right here? How to set a whole lot of appointments?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the way.
Got it. Setting lots of appointments.
Can he do it?
Yes.
Yes, he
Yes, he can. Yes, he can.
Yes, he can.
Scott?
Scott Lemon, goal is at least another 21 transactions this year so I can buy the guitar that I have my eyes on. But I want to hit 40 this year. And I'm in the class because I want to hear what your conversations sound like.
Okay. Okay, so scripting, tonality, something like that?
I think scripting objections,
Okay.
hear how you handle
Objection handlers. Got it. Next.
I'm actually John. I'm actually not in production too much.
Okay.
I work for Scott as his operations person, but I'm here just to always looking to increase my communication skills. I want to learn how you pivot,
Mhm.
how you assess who you're speaking with, get their needs, and kind of pivot the conversation to make sure that their needs are taken care of.
Perfect.
So always looking to gain more knowledge that way.
Got it. And then Robin, I think I'm catching you mid-chew, but let's put you on the spot.
That's okay. I promise I will swallow my food before I speak.
Great.
I am Robin Taylor, or Robin T, a lot of people know me as.
Mhm.
And I would like to do 24 transactions this year. And
Okay,
that includes some commercial leases that I'm learning about, which is pretty cool.
that's awesome.
Also, it's to be able to help my family. Got some family members that need some financial help, so I want to be able to take care of them.
I love that.
And I'm here for your secret sauce today.
Secret sauce. Okay.
Make more money.
Secret sauce.
Give it to everybody but Scott.
There he is. All right, and you came in late. I'm not gonna let you get off that easily. So we're asking for your name, your goal for this year, 2022. What will make you feel like you had successful 2022, you accomplished, and lastly, what you want to get out of the class. Nice to meet you, Nia.
This year I have full of clarity
Love it.
transaction.
Okay.
Not like leasing and those kind, just the sales or the listing.
Got it. Listings are important. And then what do you hope to get out of the class?
I wanted to back on track. I was kind of off the track with my sinus treatment.
Okay,
So I wanted to get back on track.
Got it.
And then create a system for me,
okay.
so I can just, easily.
Gotcha. So lead generation system. Awesome. Okay. Ramel? Nice to see you again, brother.
I see you again too. So my name is Ramel. My goal for this year is to take 20 listings.
Okay,
And
awesome.
however many deals that entails. And I'm in here because I want to learn from someone who dials for 8 hours a day.
Yeah, that's a lot of hours. Yeah. Oof. Liz?
Liz Kennedy, my goal is to be debt free this year.
Yeah.
Woo, feels so good, doesn't it?
Start my investment path. I want to know, well, in addition to all of that, I want to know who to call.
So lead sources? Okay. Cool. Dustin, what do you hope to learn from me today?
Actually, I'm here today because I do want to learn from you. I mean,
Yeah.
I trained you at the beginning, but like, we haven't done a ton of training in the past, like 6 to 8 months. I mean, he's been self-taught through the Anna Kruger course, and he's gone out and sought other ISAs in different markets. I mean, he has really poured into the resources side of things, so I don't even know if our script is the same when I started with you. You know?
It's not.
I'm actually here for quality control.
Find out how badly he actually steered.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No,
No,
Okay.
I'm here for support. I'm really proud of Troy guys for teaching. I
Mhm.
mean, I'm proud for him to stand up here and give back. That's what our culture is about. So I'm here to learn from you. What's my goal for the year?
Yeah.
My goal this year is for Team Kimberly through its leadership team, our director of sales, director of lead generation, and our director of operations, to be at 24 producing.
Love that. Can't wait. Alex, what's your goal?
So my goal this year is to have a thorough operations manual
Love
for
that.
the team. So that as we grow, everybody knows what their role is and how to do it. And what I hope to get out of the class is to see what you do. Because I don't think I've ever sat with you and seen what you do, so teach me.
Yeah, we're always busy on opposite sides of the office doing our own thing, so that'd be awesome. So name, goal, what do you hope to learn?
Precious in it.
Precious.
Precious. Aim, I'd really like to learn more about making successful appointments for listings. I've been working predominantly with buyers. We know you list to stay.
still alive.
So I want to list more and sell more listings. So,
Mhm.
still have my buyers. But, by the side of town.
Yeah.
Still have them. My goal for the year is the main goal, major goal, there's several.
Okay,
But the major one is to buy 2 properties this year.
love that. That's my own personal goal. Love that. Chris and Marie, it looks like y'all are busy working back there, but you guys mind participating? Get your names, your goals, and what do you hope to get out of this? Because I'm sure, I teach you so much every day, so.
So Chris Van Lissick, my goal is to have you, Chemo, and Marie buy a property, have Marie buy it per second. And what I'm trying to get out of this class is the suggestion to do all day.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it. And then Marie?
My name's Marie Burgess. I'm with Team Kimberly. My goal this year is 48 transactions. And what I'd like to get out of this class is, do you leave a voicemail message when you call? And if so, is there an effective voicemail message to get people to call you back?
How would you like to win $500?
That was good. Love that. Definitely go over that. All right, guys. Sorry it took so long to get to your side, but you want to start off?
Sure. My name is Mary Nelly Delchero, and I'm one half of Delchero Group. And our goal this year is 36 transactions. And what I really want to get, both my goal for this year besides the transactions is to get him to join me full-time 100%. Because we're kind of part-time with him getting on the full-time. But the other goal would be to let the language come out of me naturally that I learned from you and from, any kind of scripting that I'm creating with Keller Williams, so that I'm not struggling to find the words when, I'm speaking with other people, that it just comes out very natural and not salesy, that kind of stuff.
Gotcha. So you want to internalize the scripts and make them
Yes.
your own. So it's
Absolutely.
just comes out naturally. It becomes more of a conversation than a script. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. The other half.
Yeah, so again, Marinelli and I, it's funny, it's a long time coming. We became agents in 2005. So it's, through like one situation or another, we really hope to make this year the year I can go 100% into real estate. 'Cause I've been busy like in the corporate world and doing like recruiting. And so that's like our truly like our goal for the year in terms of like personal success. The number is 36 units. What really I hope to learn is like, what do you do in the morning for mindset when you get out of bed and be like, what is it? How am I going to approach the day? Because there's going to be some days where like, man, oh man, maybe today's not the day. So where do you dig to get that mindset to put yourself going in terms of like actually prospecting? Because I think that's in a way, going to be an exceptional day there for you, or maybe not. So I'm curious on what your thoughts are.
Love it. Yeah, I'll definitely go over that. How about you, ladies?
Hi, I'm Loretta Montgomery, and I want to do 24 transactions this year. My biggest thing I want to get out of this class is to learn how to develop that thick skin to push through sellers who know it all.
Don't they all? Of course. I'm selling my house. Of course I know everything. And then go
My
ahead.
name is Tracy Trent.
Hey, Tracy.
25 transactions. And I basically want to know everything that's up there on that board already and how do you prepare, when do you prepare for your calls the night before, Sunday before, that type of thing, and where you're getting your leads from.
Lead source. And then all the way there in the back, how are you? What's your name, goal, and what do you hope to get out of it?
Okay, so I'm Keisha Brown.
Mhm.
My goal is to obtain 25 deals this year and also become full-time. And I'm curious to know what.
Okay. What I do? Simple as that. Got it. And then sorry to everyone on Zoom. I would go with you guys too, but I actually do want to get started talking. So thank you guys for being here, and I hope you kind of get something out of this as well.
It's too.
Oh. Well, okay, I'm sorry.
I apologize for being rude. Crystal.
Ooh, she stood up.
Johnson,
This is gonna be
hello,
powerful.
and hey, my goal for the year is 36 closed transactions.
Okay.
And what I hope to get from this, everything.
All right.
May I have a quick little line to my goal, please?
Yeah.
My goal is to close 25 transactions. And I'm putting it out there so that at least one or two of you can hold me accountable.
Yeah, that's exactly why I wanted to be, exactly what I wanted to do.
Precious, just
Yeah.
one or two ain't gonna happen. There's
So-
a lot more people in here than that.
Exactly, that's what I wanted.
And that's exactly the point of having everyone talk about their goals, that when you put it out there into the world, and once you put it out, speak it into existence. Exactly. All right, guys. So we all know, all the leading real estate experts say that 5 main things that real estate agents have to do to have a productive business. One, you have to practice your scripts every day and role play. 2, gotta lead generate every single day. 3, gotta follow up with those leads that are in your database that you get from your lead generation efforts. 4, go on appointments. 5, negotiate contracts and get them to closing. So 5 things you got to do to have a productive business. You can't do one without the other, but the one on top without the one on top. There's a reason why practicing lead gen and follow up are the top 3, because without them, you can't get to 4, can't get to 5. And everyone just wants to skip to 5 and get those closings, but can't. Just got to trust the process.
Can you go through it one more time?
Yeah, so Practicing scripts and role playing. Lead gen. Follow up. Go on appointments. Negotiate contracts. Those are 5 major things we do. You know, there's a lot of other things that fall between that, but those are the 5 things that you got to do. You want to get to number 5 and make the money that we're all in here to make. We all want to be in here to fund our lives by design and, you know, get our ultimate goals. So, hey, Dustin, welcome back. So, yeah, actually,
What's the protocol for questions?
protocol for questions is, let me finish what I have to say, and then I'll kind of open it up for questions, and then just ask them. We want to get kind of going with this and make sure we can finish it. And you know what? I even wrote down everything I want to talk about today, all the really most important things that I feel like make me successful. But I'll also make sure to touch on all of these points up here as well. So guys, obviously, 150 is a lot of appointments. It is, but it can be done. And you know, one of the biggest things on here I saw was lead sources. Where do you get all those leads from? There's a couple of really important ones. There's ones that work all the time. There's ones that work in certain markets. There's ones that don't work as well in certain markets. And I want to go over all of them. Number 1, circle prospecting. We all know it. We've all heard of it. It's literally getting a map, drawing a circle around that map, skip tracing, finding all the contact info about the people in there, and then calling them and seeing if they have any real estate needs, they need to buy, sell, invest, or lease if you want to do that too. And really the most effective way to do that, the most powerful way to do that is you're actually circle prospecting around something where you actually are doing business. Let's say you have a listing, you have a buyer looking in a certain neighborhood, or you have a listing in that neighborhood. What you want to do is you want to go around that neighborhood and you want to let them know, hey guys, my name is Trent with Team Kimberly Real Estate, Keller Williams. I'm just calling you because we just listed a home down the street from you on Colonial Drive in Brookhaven. It's going on the market for $450,000. And we just want to know, who do you know that's maybe looking to move into this neighborhood that you might want to be neighbors with? You know, you're not necessarily asking for business to start off with. What you're doing is you're potentially maybe getting a buyer out of it. We've actually gotten buyers out of doing that before. It's possible. But you're kind of getting them at ease, because whenever they get a call from a real estate agent, it's just, when are you going to sell? You're selling yet? When are you going to sell? They're tired of that. Do something different. Ask them, you know, see how they can help you, if they can get you a buyer. And then you ask, hey, we know normally 1 house sells, 2 more usually go on the market right away. Who do you know in your neighborhood that may be considering selling? Again, disarming that. You're not directly asking them for business. You're asking who might they know in the neighborhood that may want to buy, sell, because, well, you might be working with buyers. You might have buyers for them. And then if they have nobody, which sometimes they don't, then you go in for, okay, so how about you? When do you plan on selling or moving? Sometimes they'll say never. Sometimes they'll hang up. Sometimes they'll tell you exactly what you want to know. And if you follow the script in that order, I've typically found that they say everywhere between 1 for every 100 calls you make, you can at least get a listing appointment out of that. That's the running average. But we're Keller Williams agents. We're not average. We want to lower that. So let's say for me, it's about 1 in every 50, 60 that I actually get to talk to. That's the amount of people we can get appointments with. And the reason why I got so good at that, practicing and role playing. Number 1, that is the most important thing that we can all do. We've all heard it before. And actually later in this class, we're actually going to go over tips and tricks to actually role play effectively and making sure we're role playing the right way, so that we're actually improving our skills and getting better every day.
Back. People are texting, they can't see you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
There's like a line, see the purple line here? Stay behind it, everybody can see.
Taught a couple classes before?
Just a couple. Got it.
So the first lead source I want to go over is the second lead source, I guess, went over circle prospecting, is expires. We've all heard of them. We're all probably pretty afraid of them. They can be pretty mean sometimes. Sometimes. But they are a great source of business. Can anyone tell me why?
They already like realtors.
They already like realtors. Yeah, that's definitely it.
They were already interested in listing.
Exactly. We know that they were already on the market. They already put their hands up and said, hey guys, I want to sell, come bring me buyers. That gives you an opportunity to go and be that person for them that they need. The last agent obviously wasn't that person. In this market, sometimes it's the agent, sometimes they're just a crazy seller, way overpriced. They're too stubborn, they're not willing to lower that price to somewhere the market will actually absorb and they can get a buyer. Happens. That's why I say expireds aren't the best lead source in this market, just because if something's expiring in this market, that's, yes, Dustin.
You've experienced crazy sellers before?
Just a couple. Yeah. And typically they fall under the expired. They really do. So I wouldn't recommend necessarily going with expireds. However, if you have that talent, you have that skill, definitely go with what you're best with. If you practice expired scripts all day, every day, you know, I believe it in my heart that you really can get really good at it and get appointments with those expireds every day. However, this is not the best market, but if you still do practice it, there is a shift coming. Eventually, the market's not going to be like how it is right now forever. And if you practice now, your skills will be honed by the time that the market does shift and there's more expireds on market, better expireds that we can show our value proposition to, get them under contract and get them closed. And then they'll leave us raving reviews and make us all look fantastic. Hey, Kimo, thanks for joining us.
It's a little late, but it's all
A
right.
little bit late. But since I did mention expireds, I do want to go over the best practices for calling expireds. First off, biggest mistake you can make is not being the absolute first person to contact them the day they go, they expire. If you're not the first, you might as well be the last because they are not answering that phone. They're not. They've gotten bombarded. The second it goes, the second that 8 a.m. comes up, the day that they expired, they are bombarded with calls. If you got call after call after call on your phone, every time you picked up, it was the same person saying the same thing, would you want to pick up? No. Exactly. I know I wouldn't. So you got to be the first. You absolutely have to, which means whatever you're doing, if you're choosing to go with expires, you're getting up early in the morning, you're getting on your dialer, you're hand dialing if you have to, and you're getting that expired list from Vulcan 7. Vulcan 7, if you guys don't know about it, it's the best place for expires, at least I think. You're getting on Vulcan 7, you're exporting those leads, and you're calling them as soon as possible. Because again, if you're not first, you might as well be last. And when you're calling them, they're gonna be tough. Yes.
So to be first, what time do you recommend calling?
8 a.m. You can't call before 8 a.m. It is illegal. Don't call before 8 a.m. In the state of Georgia, all of sales calls have to happen between the hours of 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. if they're unsolicited. If it's someone you're actually doing business with, you know, they know you, they're in your database, you know, you guys actually have a reason to call and talk, then you can do it outside of those hours, but 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Is that 8 a.m., not 9?
8 a.m. Almost certain. If not, then I have probably a couple of fines coming, but you know what? It is what it is. I'm pretty sure it's 8 a.m. Someone fact check me on that if I'm wrong. You know.
You checked it.
Yeah, that's it. And I'll add something. An expired is someone that has signed a listing agreement in the past. They are good old fashioned Georgia Association of Realtors. Tucked way back in that little listing agreement they signed, it says that they have been removed from the do not call list for the period of 1 year after signing that agreement.
It's absolutely true.
You can call them anytime.
Thank you.
Yeah, so.
If you
So
sign a
that
listing
under
agreement,
law, you can't apply, doesn't to an expired. And you can thank your board of realtors there for plugging that in there, and for the unsuspecting seller having no idea.
But they're about to-
I'm on the do not call list.
They're
Not right now.
absolutely.
Not for another 6 months.
Not for another
Absolutely.
6 months, 'cause the do not call list, right, is you can't call to solicit, okay, for a service that they have not shown public interest in receiving. I don't know how much more public you have to get, right, for putting a sign in your home on the MLS. So for us calling, we're not calling and offering them to sell knives, we're calling to sell them a service they've already asked for first.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dustin, for saying that. That's definitely something that is super important to keep in mind. If they have listed, they went on market, they're free game. Call as much, unless they're represented by a realtor, in which case don't do that. That's big bad. Don't do that. That's me. And then, so our expireds, they're tough. There's a way to go about them. I'm sure Dustin can teach you a lot more than I could, just because I don't go after them because I've only worked in this market. But you gotta take what they give you. You gotta reaffirm it back to them. You gotta say, let's say expired says, let's Crystal, you ever called an expired?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's role play an expired.
Let's do it.
Don't be. Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hey, is this Crystal?
Yes, it is.
Hey, Crystal, this is Trent calling from Team Kimberly Real Estate with Keller Williams. Just giving you a call because it looks like your home just came off the market. I'm calling to see, when are you planning to hire the right agent to try to sell your home?
You're about the sixth agent who's told me that same thing.
Oh,
Where
no.
were you when my house was on the market?
You know what?
Really tough.
You know what, Crystal? The sad thing is, I actually had no idea your house was on the market. There's a lot of homes right now. That's a lot of stuff that's happening in this market. And my team is every day is actively listing and selling homes for our clients. And the unfortunate fact is, your agent never reached out to us to let us know your home was for sale. Now, Crystal, are you still planning to sell this year?
Yes, yes.
So when can we get together so I can show you how me and my team sell homes for over 100% listing price in this market?
I'm actually gonna sell for sale by owner.
You're gonna sell for sale by owner?
Yes.
Really? Okay, well, Crystal, what has you going down that route?
Well, obviously, the last agent didn't get the job, so I don't know what you can do differently.
Okay, well, Crystal, would it hurt for us to set a time, a quick 20 minutes for us to come by and show you exactly what we can do for you?
Yes, it would take 20 minutes of my time that I don't have.
Oh, so when would you have time?
Maybe if I don't get it sold, you can give me a call.
So how soon does your property have to sit on the market without getting sold for you to consider selling, using a listing agent?
Give me about a week.
About a
And
week?
if I
Okay.
don't get it sold, then you can give me a call back.
Got it. So Crystal, I'm gonna give you a call back in a week and see what we can do to help you get where you want to be the time you want to get there, okay?
Okay,
Got it.
perfect.
Okay, so
I wasn't being tough.
she wasn't being tough. She wasn't.
That was being a real.
That's literally what you're gonna get all the time. And it is what it is. Either you get the appointment, sometimes you don't. The last thing you want to do is just give up. Set a follow-up call. Let them know, hey, I'm gonna be giving you a call at this time. I'm gonna try again. Be that persistent agent, because it may not be what they want at the time, but it's what they need. They want to get their home sold. That's what they need. And if you're the only person still contacting them weeks and weeks and weeks after the property's been sitting on the market, if they somehow turn into a FSBO, you're the one that's going to stand out. And yes, Dustin.
Will you say that again?
Say what again?
Which part?
It may not be what you want.
Yeah, it may not be what they want at that time, you following up with them and being so aggressive, but that's what they need. That's all. That's what they need. Yes.
I just wanted to add to that. If an expired really said that to you and said, call me in about a week, a good agent, an aggressive agent,
It's important.
if you wait, would have already taken that listing.
Yeah.
So you got to pro for their motivation.
Yeah.
When you sell this home, where are you gonna go next?
Mhm.
Get to what their hot button is. Once you figure that out and say, if I could do this, and give them that option, close. So you gotta figure out what their motivation is. If they're not motivated, yeah. But if you know they're going somewhere, they've already purchased another home, go for well, if I could do this, doesn't it make sense that we should get together?
Absolutely.
A good agent's gonna close that.
Absolutely.
They're gonna close it if they're motivated.
If they're motivated. If they're not, then there's only so much you can do. There's
That's right.
conditions, there's objections.
Yeah, so there's
Objections you can get around, conditions you just can't. So, that brings me to a great segue. FSBOs. FSBOs are, in my opinion, a lot more fun in this market. They're a lot easier to talk to. It's a little bit of a different process. Instead of expired, you want to get that listing immediately. If you don't, they're probably going to list with someone else or do something else, maybe stay off market for a little while. If you're not the first person, like I said, you're the last, you might as well quit. FSBOs, however, that's a whole different story. What you want to be is you want to be the market expert, and you want to be the person that completely stands out. Because if they can get their home sold in this market, which a lot of the time, let's be honest, they can. This market is absorbing listings left and right, and FSBOs are selling more than they ever have been. People are having trouble on the market, and they're going to other alternative mediums. We do that sometimes. We go to FSBOs if we can't find a good listing for our clients. If you're a good buyer's agent, that's what you do. You try to find other avenues for your clients, and that makes sense. So FSBOs, they're working, but there's a very few, and for several different reasons, they might not be able to sell. What you want to do is you want to be that person that's top of mind as their real estate resource. You want to be as helpful as possible. You want to set an appointment, not always a listing appointment, maybe a preview appointment. You want to get in front of them, show them your value proposition, look through the house. And well, actually, don't necessarily show them your value proposition whenever you go for a preview. If you're going for a preview, actually just go there to preview. Show them that you're a person of your word. If you set a preview appointment, don't try and, slosh a listing presentation down their throat, because that's what everyone else that's setting a preview is going to do. They're getting that a lot. And again, you want to stand out. You don't want to just be one of the masses. So set that preview appointment, go there, preview the property, and then the next week or even the next day, give them a call. Say, hey, I really appreciate you letting me come by and preview your property. It's a great property. Either it will or it won't work for my buyers. However, I do have a great strategy that can get to this home sold in this amount of time. And then maybe you can set a listing appointment after that. Yes, that's our plan. So
Why do people try to sell themselves?
why? There's a couple of reasons. The most common personality styles that are going to want to sell themselves are drivers and analyticals. Drivers are going to want to sell it themselves because they flat out just don't trust real estate agents. They don't, maybe they've been taken advantage of in the past, but that's their biggest fear. It's getting taken advantage of and working with someone who's ultimately not good. And also it's going to be analyticals. Analyticals are those types that see numbers. They think it makes more sense for them to sell it by themselves. And both of them just flat out don't see the value in a real estate agent. So what you got to do is you got to be that person of value. You got to stand out, show them your various value propositions. And if you're having trouble with that, finding out exactly what your main value proposition is, then we can definitely talk off screen sometime, just about the different mediums, different solutions that we as agents of Keller Williams have at our disposal to overcome all the major objections that most clients are seeing nowadays, which we'll go over in a second. I'm sure we all know what they are. So yeah, FSBOs, follow up. FSBOs are all about follow-up. Kimo, could you do me a favor? Could you go to your office, print out the list of scripts that I sent you? I'm actually gonna pass out some of them so we can actually go over them.
Got it. One question.
Yes, sir.
What are some reasons why the FSBO doesn't successfully sell their home after they tried it themselves?
Overpriced, could be bad marketing. It's a lot of several different reasons. It's hard to always pinpoint it, but we as the industry professionals, that's our job. Our job is to go in there, figure out what went wrong, why they're not selling. Most of the time it's overpricing. A lot of the times they're just not getting enough exposure. They're not doing all the exposure necessary. They're not doing the print marketing, the digital marketing, the targeted ads. It's not on the MLS. It's probably just on Zillow or some other site that no one ever looks at that I don't even know exists. Or maybe they're using one of those discount brokerages, in which case they don't get any service from them. They're pretty much on their own selling. And a lot of the times, FSBOs, they're not the best real estate agents, believe it or not. If you leave it up to them to sell the house on their own, they're not going to answer all the calls that we were going to answer. They're not going to say all the right things. Sometimes they're going to blow off the wrong person, the wrong buyer agent. They're going to be like, okay, fine, I don't want to waste my time with this FSBO. Not to mention, as a buyer's agent, do you really want to go into a deal only getting 3%, maybe less, knowing that you're probably going to have to do the majority of the work in the deal? Now, obviously, you want to do what's best for your client, but let's be honest. Do we really want to absorb more of the work for less of the money? So they're less likely to get that buyer through the traffic. Does that answer your question, Justin?
Yeah, that was a good answer.
Thank you. So yeah, it's all about follow up with the FSBOs. I'll say it again, set the preview, follow up with them, send them a thank you card, go back and try to do a listing after that. Be a person of your word, show them your value. And they're way more likely, if they don't sell themselves, to go with you than with the other agents that were just doing what every other agent does. Stand out. That's the biggest thing at all. Stand out, show your value. Now, here we go with the one lead source that everyone neglects. One that everyone says they're going to get to, but they never do for one reason or the other. Most often it's fear. It's fear of being a nuisance, fear of rejection, just fear. And that's just fear, guys. That's just fear. We all know people. We all live in the general Atlanta area. If we're real estate agents, we're probably pretty friendly, outgoing people. We have friends. We have people who are going to need to do some kind of real estate need in the next month, year, couple of years. It is your job to make sure they know that you are in the business of selling real estate. How you do that? talk to them. You know, don't be a secret agent. Talk to your sphere at least quarterly, if not more. You know, set up lunch meetings, set up anything, just make up any excuse possible to reach out to your sphere, see how they're doing. Don't just go, hey, when are you selling? Hey, when are you moving? None of that. They're gonna get annoyed. Figure out a way for you to interject yourself into their lives. Somehow bring real estate into it. If they don't bring it up, I mean, if you don't bring it up, they might. But if you just have that conversation, if they know you're in real estate, when the time comes for them to make a move, you're the person they know, you're the person they trust, you're the person they're gonna want to work with going forward when it comes to handling one of the most expensive things, or the expensive investments they have in their life. You know, like, if you think about it, several $100,000 is at hand here. Do you want to go with someone you've never talked to before, someone you never met, or someone that you know and trust, that you've seen what they do because they're telling you all the time what it is that they're doing? And when it comes to the script for a sphere call, it's something a lot of people worry about. Like, how do I call them and not be a nuisance and still talk about real estate? We've all heard it before. It was in the team meeting, I believe, this week. It's called Ford, F-O-R-D. You got to talk about their family, their occupation, their job, recreation, what they like to do for fun, and their dreams. Sometimes I talk about all four in the same call, you know? And there's several different ways to do that. Timo, did you get those scripts written? Yeah, you are struggling, you know, come on. So Ford, what you want to do is you want to literally call them. Don't just start off talking about real estate. Ask them, hey, how's the family doing? How's little Jenny doing? You know, I know she's graduating this year. Are you guys excited for that? Okay, maybe that didn't work. Well, how's work? I know you just got a promotion. How's that going? Great. Oh, so the boat you just bought, have you guys been able to take it on the lake yet? Have you winterized? Something like that. Just find something, or their dreams. Find something that you know about them. Just ask them about it. People love talking about themselves. If you call someone up and ask them something about themselves, they can't help but have their brain chemistry just start going off whenever you ask about themselves and they get to talk about themselves. That's a great way to build rapport. And then after you get done talking about, you know, that stuff for a 3 minutes, then you can transition. So, hey, you know, since you're talking about your work, find a, good way to transition. But, you know, we just sold 84 homes last year, you know, your equity just went up. So find something, some way you can tie it in. Like your equity just went up $200,000. You know, have you guys given thought to selling? Find something to transition into real estate. And if you don't, sometimes they will. But if they don't, then, you know, at least one call out of your quarterly calls, maybe make it into real estate. Find out what their plans are. You know, when do you guys plan on moving? How soon can you see yourself moving, you know, with everything that's going on? Just find out. Because if you know, you can time that. You can make sure that you're reaching out to them next when that timeline comes. But if you never ask, you never take that jump, just ask a simple question. When do you plan on selling? You may never find out. And then one day, make one of those quarterly calls. You'll say, oh yeah, you should have called last week. We just sold our home. And then you're going to be pissed. You're going to be really, really mad. I've had it happen to me a couple times. I now do not neglect my sphere at all. They know what I do. Trust me, they know what I do very well. You know, every time something happens, they know about it. So yeah, at least quarterly. And if you guys do need help reaching your database, finding out a good way to get into your database, you hear about it all the time, but I'm gonna do a shameless plug. Bold, guys, Bold. If you haven't already signed up, take the time to sign up for Bold. It was a life-changing experience when I learned so much about how best to reach out to my database, because I'm a young guy. Most of my friends, at least I thought, weren't buying houses, weren't owning houses. I thought, you think sometimes and you realize how wrong you were. When I finally started going through my database after Bold, I realized I missed out on a ton of business, a ton. If there were, 23-year-olds buying houses, if there were 23-year-olds selling houses, think about what's in your database, guys. There's a lot of gold in there that you really just don't know about until you reach out to them. So never be afraid to pick up that phone and just see what's going on in their lives and eventually transition into real estate.
Hey, Trent, I have a question. This is Jackie online. Huh? So
Jackie,
you
how are you?
said, I'm good in you. So basically you say that you make sure they know what's going on with you. So do you do this on on social media or like by calling them or sending them messages all the time?
Yeah, so you want to follow up your database with calls at least quarterly. In terms of how they know what I do, it's definitely social media. I try to make it as apparent as possible. I'm trying to get a little bit better at that. It can be tough to focus on social media as well when you're making all these calls all day and doing all this other stuff. But you want to stay as active as possible on social media. There's several ways to do it. You don't just only want to post about the stuff you're doing. You want to also engage with your followers. You want to ask them about what they're doing. You want to comment on their pages. You want to like their stuff. That way, they then turn interest back towards you. And then they're more likely to go over to your page after you've liked and commented some great, stuff on one of their posts. They're then more likely to go check out yours and see all the awesome stuff you've been doing. And they're like, oh, wow, I didn't know they were doing that much. They're so successful. Whenever I have a real estate need, I'm going to go to them. But in terms of actually finding out when their timeline is, you definitely do want to make those at least quarterly calls. Did that answer your question?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Thank you.
Awesome. And then
We got another question here.
yes, sir.
From Bill Linkwall. Why do you think that agents don't do what you do consistently? Yeah, that's the first question.
In terms of the amount of calls I do and how much dialing time I actually make, it's boring, to be honest. I'm excited being here talking to you guys for 2 hours about lead gen. I'm super excited for it, but let's be honest, it's not the most exciting, the most sexy thing in the world. It can be tedious. It can take a lot of time out of your day. But if you're not willing to make that sacrifice to ultimately get to what you really do want to be doing, you'll never get there. Like I said, you can't get to number 5 without doing number 3, number 2, and most importantly, number 1. Role playing, practicing scripts, then lead gen, then follow up, then you can do the fun stuff. They want to just focus on the fun stuff, but there's no shortcuts. There's no magic bullets. There's no magic formula to get to 5 without getting through 1, 2, 3. It just doesn't work. And then the second question was what?
What's your suggestion for overcoming fear and lack of skill or confidence? You are very impressive, sir.
Thank you, Bill. The secret.
Also from Bill. I'm just reading it. Yeah.
Bill wasn't here in the beginning, but we're supposed to hold questions until the end.
Oh, that's all right. I think it's a great class.
I think we've all abandoned that.
So we're gonna start asking then.
I know you've been holding back real hard. I appreciate that. So
Oh, look, they're right there too.
the answer to that
Oh,
question.
there's another question. All right.
Guys, come down. Answer that question. Guys, it's number 1. Practice your scripts and you role play daily. Daily. Once you internalize the script, once it becomes part of your everyday dialogue, it gets fun. I promise you, it actually does. At first, it's boring, it's tedious, but it gets fun. When you know that you come in every day and then you have a good opportunity to set at least one appointment because of the skills that you've honed over the last however many months, years you've been doing it, it's exciting, it's exhilarating, it's thrilling, and it becomes a lot more fun. I mean, if you think about it, do we like
this stuff?
do we like doing the things that we're good at or the things that we're bad at more? Things that we're good at. If you get good at it, it'll become fun, it'll become a game. And then if you eventually start getting paid to do something that's fun, who wouldn't want that? Another question.
Yeah, how do you structure those 5 things on your calendar every day?
Well, time block, obviously. We all know about time blocking. Get a Google Calendar, block out at least 2 to 3 hours every day for lead gen. That's actively going out and trying to contact new people that you have not talked to before through circle prospecting, through expireds, through FISBOs. You go door knocking. Do whatever it is that you're good at that you feel like can get you those leads, and then follow up with them after. And then you set up at least 1 hour for lead follow-up, depending on how many leads you have in your database to follow up with. Sometimes lead follow-up can sometimes trickle in to my lead gen. I know I'm not supposed to do that. Probably should have said that for Dustin. But sometimes it can, just because you have a lot of leads to service. But you do want to schedule at least 1 hour. Chris is nodding his head at me. You do want to schedule at least 1 hour of lead follow-up. And then then you have lunch, and then you have the rest of your day to do everything else, do your admin work, go on appointments, schedule appointments for that afternoon block, you know, from 1 to 5, 6, 7, whenever, you know, you go home. And also, you don't want to, this is kind of going off on a tangent, but you don't want to spend all day, every day, just on real estate. Most of you, I'm sure you have families, have significant others, have people that care about you and want you in their lives and want to spend time with you. So do try to, if you're going to be time blocking everything, also time blocking your family time blocking the other things that are important to you. Because if you do this all day, every day, it goes from being boring to being fun, then to being boring again. You have to have some balance. There has to be some sort of balance, some sort of, you know, other stuff other than just real estate, or you'll get tired of it. You will. It's called burnout. We've all been there before. We've all seen it. We've all experienced it, at least for a little bit. But definitely want to keep that family time. It's super important.
How do you reset the boredness?
Reset the boredness?
Yeah.
The mindset thing. You do things to kind of jolt yourself out of it, jolt yourself out of that little phase that you're in. I'll say it again. I said it before, I'll say it again. Bold will do it for you. Bold will reset that mindset and get you more excited than you ever have been about getting on phones and calling everyone you know. There's bold, there's people around you. You know, find accountability partners, find people who will keep you accountable to what it is that you said you're gonna do. You have to make it a really big, like, you pay $100 every time you don't reach your contact goal, something just crazy that you really don't want to do, that'll make you want to keep on it every day, motivated to get it done. Whatever that is, do it. Do whatever it takes. Because I mean, you have big goals for this year. You want to get them. I can tell you want to get them really badly, or else you wouldn't have transitioned fully into real estate. You've worked a lot over the last year or so. Do the work. Just keep doing the work and find someone to hold yourself accountable. I think you're ready to do that. If I'm not mistaken, have an accountability partner come to you. There you go.
Okay.
There you go. I can see that working very well. But yeah, accountability partners. Are there any other questions before I go?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Role playing is the most important thing to do before anything else.
Mhm.
Who do you role play with? And if you don't have role play partners, because that's been my biggest challenge. I've reached out through all my friends' Facebook groups, and people just are flaky.
Yeah.
And don't want to show up, or they'll show up for the first call and then they fall off.
Yes.
How do you work around that? Because I totally understand the more you practice, the better you get. And I mean,
Well, first off, I never think it's a great idea to only, well, first off, not only have one role play partner, but only use one person every single time.
right.
I think that's the worst thing that you can do, because you're not going to be talking to one seller or one buyer on the other end of the phone every single time you call.
No, I totally agree.
You want varying perspectives, various tonalities, so you practice and mix your varying
Different
matching.
objections.
You want different objections, different people have heard different things, will say different things, will say it in different ways. Some people will be mean, some people will be really nice, and you want to mix and match, because that's what you'll see in the real world. So I would challenge you to maybe find a group, people that you can kind of rotate around. I know several different coaching systems have role play sessions that they put on. I think Marie told me about this Game Room.
Yeah.
It's a service. I think they actually, what they do is they make you deposit, or they make you turn in a check for $200, something like that. Every time you miss one, they actually cash it. I think they give it to a charity or something.
I think that's right.
Yeah, they give it to a charity.
Doesn't charge, they don't charge you for long.
What's it called?
But if you don't
Game.
show up, that's the pain point. I
Yes.
like that.
Exactly. And if you want to show up, you can bet your $100 the other person that's supposed to be meeting with you that day also probably wants to show up.
Yeah, because your money's in the.
Exactly.
Kind of like eating a can of tuna fish.
Exactly.
Dog food.
Exactly. You got to pay to play. So sometimes you got to put that out there, put yourself in a dangerous situation, so you can come out better on the other end.
Thank you for that.
I see a hand up. Where is it? Let's get Chris. What's up?
So, Trent, how long did it take you to get to where you actually felt you were good enough to start with it? Obviously, some people have that fear that they succumb to.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to get over it?
Good enough to start. You're never good enough or bad enough to start. You just got to start. You always just got to start, because you won't get good until you do it, until you hear the different objections, until you kind of figure out what it is you have to get better at. Melba says it, fail fast, fail often, fail forward. Fail as quickly as possible, learn from those failures and move forward. Write down the objections that you get the most, figure out ways to overcome that, and then go back on the calls armed with that. Find ways to, to let them know about the different solutions that you have eloquently. Just try. Fail as much as possible so that you eventually just stop failing.
Something here. I don't know, is the game room cyberbacker?
Yes,
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll share this. This is actually really cool. I didn't have this.
yeah, recommend I'm a maths coach.
This is really cool, guys.
They're all
Anybody heard of
really-
cyberbacker?
No.
Cyberbacker is a company, it's the largest VA real estate servicing company in the world. And it was from a Keller Williams agent when they started it. Yeah, it's amazing. They have everything from admins to ISAs. So if you were gonna get really good at role playing, it could be with someone that does it 12 hours a day, right?
Right.
So they host these and it looks like they're actually free too.
So to keep harping on your question, definitely find as many different role players as possible. Find different role players, so people who have different objections, different whatnot. And also try to find maybe some top agents in the office who might want to role play with you, because they hear more objections than anyone else. They know how to overcome those objections. So they can maybe even help you, give you little tips and tricks afterwards. What time are you role playing?
I have 7:30 available, or is 7 better for you?
That's way too early, if I'm being honest with you. I get up early in the mornings,
I
but
get up at 3:30.
see, I thought I would have you be, I get up at 4:30 usually, but that's impressive. It's impressive. What do you do?
At 3:30?
Yeah.
First thing is prayer, then I go into reading scripture, and then after that, I go into meditation, and then I go into yoga, and then I go into my spoken affirmations.
What she just said, guys, is gold. There is nothing in the world quite like winning the morning.
Yes.
When she gets up, the first thing on her mind is having as great of a morning as possible. To go into what you were saying, the miracle morning. I recommend everyone write this down. Find on your ebooks, on Barnes and Noble, wherever you can, Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents by Hal Elrod. Life changer. Changed my life. I'm not sure if Crystal ever actually read it. That's why she does what she does, or if she's just crazy enough to do it on her own.
Done it for years.
Yeah, the Miracle Morning is a life changer. The book kind of tells a story. I'm not sure how fictitious or non-fictitious it is, but it does tell a good story, and it gives good points through telling the story. I think we can all kind of relate with the story you'll hear in that. And it can tell you all the things that I want to say a lot more eloquently than I can, so I'll leave it to the professionals. But try to integrate the Miracle Morning into your life, and you'll never be the same. Your productivity will skyrocket. Your mindset will never waver, and it'll just change your life. Change your life. Are there any other questions? Or
There are, but I'll wait. 20
thank you.
minutes.
I appreciate that. We'll do like 10 minutes of me actually getting some words out, and then we can go back to questions. I also wanted to go over what to make sure you get out of every single call. So there are a couple of objectives that you want to make sure are always on the top of your mind whenever you call someone, no matter what script you're using. And all scripts will get this stuff out, but this is just kind of the cookie cutter of what you need. You want to know that person's goals. What are they trying to do? You want to know why they want to do it. What is their motivation? And don't just get that surface level, oh, we just want to upsize just because they want more space. No. Why do you want more space? What would that mean for you? What would you and your family get out of more space? How would you utilize that space? Why don't you feel like you have enough space now? What's that pain point that's making you need more space? Did you just get a new kid? Is your dog running around the house breaking everything and it needs more room? Do you need more land in the back? What is it? There's something, moving's hard. We all know that. Moving is hard. I feel like they should make, Dustin's actually said this before, I feel like they should make a requirement for getting your real estate license. You actually have to sell and move somewhere else to see how hard it is and how tough that process is. It's not easy. True. It's not. Dustin can attest. It's not easy. So for them to want to do that and to really want to go through this process, there's something underlying there that's forcing their hand. It's your job to find it and to use that. I don't want to say to your advantage, that sounds like we're kind of using them, but you want to come from contribution, figure out how you can help them. And they know that you're in it to help them, so that they choose you because they know that going with you will get them to where they're trying to go in the time that they want to get there, which brings me to the third thing you want to get, the timeline. You need to know the timeline. Can anyone tell me why you need to know their timeline?
Ties in with their motivation.
It does. It definitely ties in with their motivation.
You know, they have to be somewhere in 30 days. That's a completely different conversation than if they like to be somewhere whenever.
Very, very true. Very, very true. Anything else?
How often to follow up with them?
How often to follow up with them? Very, 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 very true. And the most important thing, anyone else? When to close. When to close for the appointment. If it's 6 months out, a year out, they're gonna move. Do you really want to set an appointment for tomorrow at 4 or 5? No, you don't, because you're gonna go there, you're gonna talk about all the stuff they want to do. That's great. And they're not gonna do anything for 6, 9, 10 months. And then by that time, everything in their life has changed. And you now have to go do another appointment, do another pricing evaluation, do another comparative market analysis, do a whole nother needs evaluation. If they are relocating within your area, you need to have them buy as well. So waste of your time. Don't go on an appointment if they're not going to, let's be honest, our time is valuable. We don't need to waste it. Keep them on a follow-up queue if they're more than 3 to 4 months out, and then go back, follow up with them, then set the appointment, then go on the appointment, then close, show them your value, show them how you can get them what they want soon in the time that they want to get there. Can anyone tell me why 90 days, 3 months or 3 to 4 months, somewhere in there, is the ideal time frame in which they need to make a move that you would set an appointment? Set Chris?
You said, would it set up on that?
So why would you not set an appointment if their time frame is more than 4 months out? And why, and I guess the same question would be asked, why would you set it if it's 4 to 3 months in it? Yes, ma'am.
When the first one, the door. You want to meet them?
Yeah.
Because their timeline may move up.
Yeah.
They may say 3 months down the line, it might just be a month down the line, depending on what's happening.
That's true. And that's why I give that kind of 3 to 4 month leeway, because they could move in within the 2 months, 3 months as well. Anyone not on my team? I know they know the answers. All right, guys, I guess by default, Kimo, give it to us.
So one of the big reasons I would say under 3 to 4 months is because on average it takes about a month to 3 months to close a house. So if they say 3 to 4 months, it's time to start. If it's more than 3 to 4 months, that's something you just need to nurture until we get into that 3 to 4 month range.
Got it. Chris, you want to add on to that?
Because it's immediate business, guys.
Immediate business.
That's what it is.
Immediate
Just
business.
because they say it's 90 days out, you can sell, put them on your contract within 4 days, and you can still meet that parameters. That doesn't inconvenience.
Exactly.
It's immediate business.
Exactly. Let's say you meet 3 days after the conversation. Let's say 3 months is their time frame. You meet 3 days after the conversation. You set an appointment. Takes 2 weeks for them to get ready, go live, take pictures, all that stuff. So that's 15 days in. You go under contract in. Let's be fair. Let's be nice. Give them 7 days. Let's say 7 days. It's probably gonna happen before that if you priced it right. Let's say 7 days. Okay, that's what, 3 weeks in, you're 22 days in. Cool. Takes 30 days to close, 52 days. Cool. What tool do we have that's been a lot more frequent nowadays in this market to fill that gap?
Cash offers.
Temporary occupancy. 30 to 60 additional days in the house to give them more time after they close, after they have those funds in their bank account, to go find the next property, offer on it, put their best offer in on it, get that accepted as well, and then move it. So whenever it's, let's say, somewhere between anywhere within, let's say, 110 days, you're within that window to where you can help them get what they want in the time they want, no matter how long it takes to get another property. If you can't help them find another property, like Kimo, no, he's always looking for new clients. Just refer them over.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Do you ever send, because you're the ISA, right? So you're setting appointments for your agents, right?
That's correct.
So do you ever set appointments for them to go out, and do the agents ever get listing contracts signed that start in 90 days?
They can, there's no reason not to.
Why would they do that?
Because what the person really, really needs is to know that you are the right agent to help them get what they want. And if you show your value, then 90 days later, you're still gonna have that value. Nothing's gonna change that will make you not the right agent to help them. So let's say you go 90 days ahead and you set it, the on-market date for 90 days ahead. If you can show your value, they're not gonna object to that. If you can show your value eloquently, nicely, you have a nice presentation, you have a practice presentation, you go to Dustin Kimberly's listing presentation class, then you can do that.
People actually sign these? I mean, I thought people just signed them when they were ready to like list that day.
No, not true. If you do that, you're kind of behind, you're a little behind the ball. There's a ramp up period it takes to get things on market. So you can set it for as far as you really want, honestly.
What's the response level when they find out that you're not the agent that they're gonna be with?
You know what? It's crazy how infrequently I actually get that objection. I can't speak on as far as a listing agent once they actually go on an appointment, how often they kind of get some pushback on that. But I mean, I'm a hoot, you know. People love talking to me, and they love talking to Marie, Chris, Kimo just as much.
And we
So, I mean,
reference Trent when we go on to these.
exactly, that too. And the good thing about us being on a team, us practicing being so close knit, is we all use the same verbiage. We all have the same systems. Everything is very streamlined. So the same things are hearing from me on the call, same things are going to be hearing from Marie, from Chris, from Kimo when they go to the appointment. So it's not like anything's far off. They may not do as well as I do, but you know, listen here, just get best. So yeah, you definitely want to get the goal, the motivation, the timeline. And then if the time frame is farther out than 3 to 4 months, then all you got to do is just make sure that you set the next contact. You never want to hang up a phone call without you and them both clearly establishing when the next time you're going to give them the contact is. You never want to leave it open-ended. You want to say, hey, so what is a better time? It seems like you guys aren't quite ready yet. When's a better time for me to follow up and still make sure me and my team are here to help you guys get where you want and the time that you want?
You know what, let me just get back to you on that.
Let me just get back to you on that. I'm gonna call you every single day. You should give me a time. Yeah, make it harder on
How do
yourself.
you ensure they don't forget the time you're gonna call them back?
And you can always send them, if you have their email, you can send a appointment, cool calendar. I'll do that
So you
sometimes.
send an appointment confirmation, you send in a calendar invite for a follow-up call?
Yes, because we're very professional, we're very prompt, on time, and that displays our professionalism. Cool. Yeah. We're not just, thank you, Kimo, it only took you about.
I know, I had some technical difficulties. there.
Okay, it's fine, it's fine. It's fine, and some of the, okay, so he's handing out right now a lot of the scripts that I have internalized and kind of use. Some of these I kind of mix and match and do my own thing sometimes just because I have done these scripts enough, I've role played them enough, I've practiced them enough, I've internalized them, and I can make them my own and make them make sense for me. Until you really learn the backbone of the script, learn why it flows the way it does, and learn how to go through it and make sure you touch all of the points on the script and follow it like it's a spine, you don't want to change it up. You want to learn it first, practice it, internalize it. Then, once that's happened, then you can kind of make it yours, make it your own, and do your own thing. But you want to make sure you're keeping that same flow because all the scripts flow the way they do for a specific reason. You want to bring that client or that lead through a specific train of thought. You want to guide them, you want to control the conversation by asking the right questions, knowing what their answers will likely be, recording that information, and then following up with the next question that will lead them back to exactly where you want to go with the conversation, so that hopefully in the end you can get to a close or to a close and close for the appointment if they're within that 3-month time frame. So if you guys want to study that, some of them may make sense for your business, may not. It does have a lot of team integrations into that. If you want to switch it out, feel free. I'm not a jealous person. If you're using my scripts, it won't make me upset. So do whatever you need with that. But later in the next, where are we at? 2 p.m. We got time. The last 30 minutes before we end, what I actually want to do is actually, no, I'll save that for later. We'll save that for later. Make it a little fun surprise. We're going to 3. So in 30 minutes, for the last 30 minutes, we're gonna do some fun. Okay, another thing I want to go over. It's great to set 150 appointments, but they're never held. What was the point? So the question goes to, how do you get those appointments that you set and make sure that they're not rescheduled, canceled, completely forgotten about, that you stay top of mind, that they know it's going to happen, that they're ready for you when you come. Several different ways to do that and through several different mediums. First off, I send sometimes a text confirmation. Hey, thanks for taking the time thank you for talking to me today. So glad we get to discuss doing this, this, and this with you. We'll see you on this day. Email. Hey, thanks for choosing Team Kimberly Real Estate as your for maybe listing your house or whatever. This is going to be happening on this date at this time. We'll see you there. Thanks. Google Calendar invite. Description, same exact thing as the email. Then you want to also have the, well, obviously we're on a team, listing specialists actually go on the appointments. So then I have my listing specialist, then call them, say, hey, actually, I'm the person that's going to be coming and meeting with you. I just want to introduce myself, let you make sure you know, have my contact info. That way, if you need anything, you can reach out to me directly. Then the day before the appointment, hey, just making sure we're still on for today at this time. And then somewhere in between that, you also want to pre-qualify the appointment. And to learn about pre-qualification, I would definitely also recommend Dustin's class or Marie's with her vision class as well.
I just want to clarify.
Yes, ma'am.
You were on the phone with me, you set the appointment before. What is your timeline? How far out are you setting these appointments?
Of course, that would depend on when they're free. I wouldn't necessarily say I have a cap on how far away I'll set it.
So if I said I'm available today
Mhm.
and it's at 4, what would you say?
No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to my listing specialist. That's unfair to them. Does not give them nearly enough time.
So how much time?
If it's, say it's the afternoon, I wouldn't set it for any time today. I would set it until sometime tomorrow afternoon.
So 24 hours typically.
Typically, say I set it in the morning, 9 a.m., 10 a.m., I'll set it for later in the day. I will, that gives them enough time to kind of prepare themselves. But if it's in the afternoon by this time today, no. Yeah. It's just again to give my listing specialists who haven't really seen the opportunity yet, some time to prepare themselves and get the best presentation they possibly can. You want to set them up for success. However, if it's you yourself, if you feel comfortable with doing that, you know yourself, you know how quickly it'll take for you to get ready, and you know how prepared you are. So if you can set it, you can make it, you can actually meet that obligation. So when you tell them you're going to be there at that time, you better be there at that time. You better be ready to get the presentation of your life.
You're going to be on time.
Yes.
So how many times are you touching them after you set the appointment?
Well,
Go back to that again. That was a
So
lot.
it's through several different mediums too. It's through several different mediums too, and that's for a reason. That's because some people, they're text people, some people are email people, some people are calendar people. You want to make sure that you're hitting them every way possible that they may see, so that there is the absolute biggest percentage chance that they know that that appointment is happening at that time. You are not giving them any reason, any excuse at all to not know when they're supposed to be meeting with you. Make it easy for them.
I'm sorry. Okay, so with you being on the team, right, and I just want to kind of cater to individual agents. I feel like you have like a designated role, and I feel like us as individual agents have like the identity.
You are. Yeah.
Right, yeah, we have like an identity issue, like, okay, what, like time. How, like, if you were your own individual agent, how successful do you think you would be setting appointments and going on appointments and everything yourself? Like, to the point that you're still as successful setting the appointments with you doing everything.
To be honest, if I was an individual agent, I'd probably spend a little bit less time lead generating than I do. Just full transparency, just because I need more time to actually service all those leads that I'm generating, following up with them, getting pre-listing packets out, comparative market analyses, learning the market, doing a lot of different things. And that is the struggle when it comes to being an individual agent. That's why we love our team so much, because we have that ability to leverage out and each specialize in one individual things. We all have our individual specialties and our individual things that we're really good at, gifts. They like to tell me I have the gift of gab. So obviously I'm an inside sales agent. But that's something you really got to figure out for yourself, figure out how best you can rearrange your schedule to make sure you have the most success. And When it comes to me, do I think I would have the same success? Yes.
Because it sets the appointment.
So that's like the appointments. Like I said, it's, you go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. You can't do 5 until you do 1, 2, 3. I do 1, 2, 3 really well. So 4 and 5, I think would come easy to me. That's stuff that's easy to learn. 1, 2, and 3 is what you really, we really need to learn, because that's the tedious stuff. That's stuff you don't want to do. That's the stuff you have to get really good at, so that you do start wanting to do it more, and it becomes a fun process. Does that answer your question? Yes. I think yes.
I just wanted to ask one question. Did I hear you right? You send the same message on all 3 of the mediums?
Yes,
You don't change it up?
So the text is a little bit different, just because no one wants a couple paragraphs to get texted to them. They're not gonna read that. Just texting, it's real short and sweet. I send them, hey, thanks for talking to me today. I'm sending this text to connect you with the listing specialist, and I'll actually group text the listing specialist in out there too, so they have their number. Make it super easy. Like I said, you do not give them any excuse not to know when they're gonna be meeting and who they're gonna be meeting with. As an individual agent, obviously, you don't have to do the group text, but just say, hey, I'm glad we connected. We're meeting at this time. Can't wait to see you there. Send them an email, calendar invite. Then, biggest tool that we have as a team that I feel like every even individual agent should find a way to incorporate into their own system process is the pre-listing package. The pre-listing package sets you apart from any and everyone. Not everyone does it, but it's really amazing. So what we usually put in there, I'm being honest, I don't know everything we put in there, just because I never really see it. Like I said, specialties, we specialize in different things. But the creative market analysis, you definitely want that in there. You want all the agreements that they're going to end up signing, because that way they get the chance to read it beforehand, and they're a lot less likely to be a little bit like, what's this? What's this? Reading every page of the listing agreement before they sign, which, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to be in an appointment for 2 hours reading a listing agreement. I've read it plenty of times. Why am I here? Just sign anything, or let me go and then sign it later. So you want to give them the opportunity to read it beforehand, and even tell them, hey, you're gonna be getting this. Read it beforehand. That way, when I come out during your pre-qual, you say this. That way, when I come out, we have to spend less time talking about the contracts and more time talking about what you guys want and how I can help you get that. Okay, you want to kind of condense it, because they don't want to spend 2 hours doing it either. But sometimes they feel like they have to because it's a contract. It is.
When the net sheet with the figures already filled out.
Do we?
Thank God.
I don't think so. Yeah, that's
Most of the time we do, but in the market right now, I mean, there's always a market for the moment, right?
Yeah.
So 2-3 years ago, we would deliver them with the price filled out, the commission filled in,
And the net
the
sheet.
net sheet filled in, right? We're doing our job, we know what they owe. But in this market, it's moving so rapidly. The pre-listing package was so comprehensive about 18 months ago, we had to stop because we had such a high level of cancellation. Because, a guy like Ramel gets our listing package and he's like, yeah, I'm good. That's what I thought it was worth. Cancel, trash, call somebody else.
Or sell by owner.
Right, exactly, right? So what we realized was that the CMA and the pricing was all they wanted. So if we gave it to them, then they wouldn't meet with us. But in past markets, oh gosh, no, we would have, it would be down to a sign. Price, commission, terms, we would sign it, we put a net sheet in there, because the idea is that,
You
when
would
you're.
sign the contract.
Oh, 100%, yeah. Because the idea is when you go to a listing presentation, one of the objections they'll give you is, well, I need to review the package, right? We're eliminating that by sending it early. They're gonna call you and get mad at you over 2 or 3 things of which you're gonna write down to discuss when you get there.
exactly. So you know how to prepare, you know what objections they're already going to give you, and you come, and the day before or the day of that morning when you're role playing, ask your partner, hey, can we run through commission objection really quickly? Can we do this? Can we do that? Run this presentation today, and they'll be more than happy to do that. More than happy. And that's the importance of the prequel. You get those objections out before you actually go out to the appointment, to the point where you almost want it to be like you're going there just to pick up a signature. 1 minute listing presentation. Who wouldn't want to go to have all their appointments be just 1 minute long, pick up signature and then walk away? Maria has 2 hands up. I know she does. Yeah, that's the goal. That's the idea. Does it always happen perfectly? No, but the closer we can get to that as possible, it makes our jobs easier. And it frees up our opportunity in our calendar to set more appointments, go on more appointments, and do everything else we need to do.
When's your first phone call to the center after you secure the appointment? I know the last one is a day before your appointment.
Yeah. So the first phone call after we set an appointment is gonna be the listing specialist. Their goal is to call them within 5 minutes, preferably within 2 minutes, speed to lead, say, while they're still kind of thinking about selling, because after I got with them, we've had a 10, 12, 15, oh God, sometimes 20 minutes, sadly, conversation, set the appointment, and then, their mind can quickly wander off to anything else within 5 minutes. So you want to get to them immediately. Hey, this is such and such. You just talked with Trent. You said an appointment. We're going to be meeting at this time. Just want to introduce myself. If you need anything, give me a call. That way they have their number saved in. So when they call for the pre-qual, then they're a lot more likely to get that. Because sometimes we were finding before that when we weren't doing that, whenever they would call for that pre-qual, they would have no idea who was calling. They would just let it go to voicemail. They never get a chance to get in touch with them. They never get a chance to confirm the appointment. Then appointment's gone. Just set an appointment for no reason because it wasn't able to get help.
If you were
You wanna
sole
avoid that.
agent,
Yeah.
how quickly would you say, they accept the presentation today?
So if I was a solo agent and then I set the appointment, I would pre-qual in that same call. I wouldn't call back. I would just go right to the pre-qualification script. And then just do it right then. But because the listing agent's gonna be the one kind of going on the appointment, we want them to fish out those objections so that they can better prepare themselves. It just makes more sense that way. Yeah.
So hold on, I got one more question. So if I'm hearing this right, you're on the phone with these people 10 or 15 minutes, and they answer how many questions probably?
Depends on how hard it is to get an appointment with them.
So they give you the appointment.
Yeah.
I mean, these people gotta be exhausted. And you're telling me that someone on the team calls them within 5 minutes? Aren't they angry?
Well, if they're motivated enough to set an appointment and actually sell their house and go through that process that we just talked about, it's pretty grueling. Well, they better be ready for a couple of phone calls. Like, wow, yeah, it's the least they can do. Yes,
I'll
Chris.
answer that. No, they're not. They're actually extremely surprised.
Yeah.
They're kind of baffled because like, oh, wow, okay, great. You guys will mess around. Well, I'm glad. I just do, hey, this is Chris with TV. I know you just talked to Trent. I'm gonna be the specialist that's gonna be meeting with you Tuesday at 4. I just want to take this opportunity to introduce myself. Here's my direct contact. If you have any questions beforehand, please don't hesitate to reach out. Does that sound good? Perfect. And then I do let them know, but I will be reaching out within probably tomorrow around 12. Is that okay? I'm locking in the next appointment to go over the pre-qualification call. If they're buzzed, energized, and ready to rock, I'll run it like that.
You use that word, well, I'll call you tomorrow to go over the pre-qual.
No. I have a couple of questions that I'd like to ask you, but I know you just had a long conversation with Trent, so I don't want to take up your whole day. How's tomorrow at 12? Or how's tomorrow at 10?
So he just, hold on, so back up. So he just set an appointment to list them all.
Yep.
After 15 minutes of being on the phone. And then the specialist calls within 5 minutes. And then you set another appointment?
Yes, sir.
That's great.
When you show your value, they're not gonna get annoyed.
And for the
because
record, guys, I
They're
didn't actually know
impressed.
this was
They're
going on.
impressed.
They're impressed. They really are.
I'm impressed.
They're impressed by the professionalism.
Do they
quickness,
come
confidence.
back? So this is a good question. Do they ever come back to you? So like, okay, so you made the handoff, right? And so the specialist has called him and made the interception, right? Hey, I'm the introduction, I'm the specialist. Here's my information. When's a good time tomorrow to talk or whatnot? Do they ever cycle back to you in any way, like call you back, or is that redirect?
That does happen sometimes, especially if it's someone that I've been following up with for months or maybe close to a year now. It actually happened yesterday.
Wait, you follow up with people for a year?
I mean, I've been following some people since this last summer when I started, yeah. And one of them, we just set an appointment with, and she ended up calling me instead of Chris, in which time I actually literally walked over to Chris's office, put it on speaker, and we all had a three-way conversation.
Can I give you a round of applause for like following up with her like for a year and a half?
You got the appointment. That's amazing.
Wait, if we're gonna talk about follow-up,
Put some kudos out there.
we're gonna talk about follow-up,
Marie,
Marie, yeah.
how long were you following up with your appointment that you just said?
The appointment I have today, 8 years.
Wow.
What's the price range? What's the price range?
$10 million. $10 million.
Yeah. 8 years, a FISBO. Guys, when I tell you FISBO is all about the follow-up, that right there just epitome.
Wait, did you hear the last part, Trent?
I did not.
She's a realtor.
when you show your value, people want to work. Even other realtors who maybe couldn't get sold on their own.
Do we
for
have,
8 years.
do we have any questions on the Zoom? Now's the time to unmute and ask questions.
Yes, it is.
When you're using your text messages, are you using a specific program?
So we usually contact through our CRM. It's called Follow Up Boss. It's super awesome. If you guys are looking for a CRM, I definitely recommend it. It's one of the coolest ones we've ever interacted with. It allows you to call, text, email, integrate everything through the system itself, and it records and logs all those conversations. You can put copious notes. You can do custom fields, put pricing in there. Literally everything you need is all within Follow Up Boss, and that's usually what I use to text through. And that way, it actually doesn't even come from my personal number. I have a Follow Up Boss number, which is technically my business number. And that's what that's how we communicate.
You're about to wrap it up.
Plain skip tracing.
Explain skip
I know
tracing?
nothing about that.
Oh, so skip tracing is, oh my gosh, I feel like if as a realtor, if you don't know skip tracing,
I don't.
then your business is about to get a whole lot better.
Oh, yeah. So talk to us.
There's several different skip tracers that are really effective in this market. There's the free one on Remind. You just go to FLS, Remind, go to search. It's decent. It doesn't get you the best info ever. What we actually love using is Mojo. It is a Mojo.
Yeah, I've been paying like nearly $700 for years.
Yeah, so if you add another $50 to that, you can turn on what's called neighborhood search. So as you literally go to the map, draw a circle or any kind of shape you want around a neighborhood and export the data. It's amazing.
It's awesome. I didn't use a lot of those services until I finally canceled it.
Yeah, and it's 5 times more. So I can remind one area, Mojo, neighborhood search the same area, I get 5 times as many numbers on Mojo. It's amazing. They're usually right. Very, very unoften are they the wrong number or the wrong person, just because Mojo, there's a reason they make you pay for the data. It's good data. And that's not actually the worst price I've heard of when it comes to neighborhood searches. Another source?
Yes.
Remind and Mojo are the main ones that I've used. I personally couldn't speak on the effectiveness of many others. I definitely recommend Mojo. There's Cole Realty Resource. That's actually another good one that we did use in the past. If you any of this doesn't, even that is longer than I have.
So what was the question?
Any other skip tracers?
Cole, Mojo, White Pages.
White
Mojo-
Pages.
Mojo has a neighborhood search, Cole Realty Resource. If you have mass batches, you go to a website called fiverr.com. You have like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, right? They'll typically charge you 1, 2, 3 cents a piece to submit the Excel file. They have bulk script tracing stuff, right? And then they'll send that back to you with all the names and numbers. You can upload that to a power dialer. Which one's that? Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com, skip tracing. So effectively what Mojo does is it does all of that for you. You're just breaking it out. I think you have a special guest on the.
Great content, Trent. Way to go, man.
Hey there, Bill. How are you?
I'm good. You're doing great, man. Good content.
Thank you. Didn't see that coming. Good to see you. Hope I get to see you on the 5th later. Next month.
Good.
All right. So the fun thing did I answer everyone's questions? I'm not sure if I'm missing anything. Great. So the fun thing that I wanted to go over today, something we all just love doing, something we're all told to do every day, something that most of us probably neglect and skip over most days. Let's talk about role playing, guys. Let's talk about role play. Let's talk about the most effective ways to role play, how we should be role playing, what we should do when we role play, how long we should be role playing, and let's just talk about it. And that way we can make sure that we all leave this class knowing how best to just to do it so that we actually improve our skills. And also, let me make sure that on over all of this stuff. Voicemails. Yes. whenever you're leaving voicemails, I try to keep them real short and sweet. No one wants to listen to a 10-minute long voicemail. Hey, this is Trent calling from Team Kimberly Real Estate with Keller Williams. You can reach me back at 678-216-3991. Again, that's 678-216-3991. Take care. That's the most likely, that gives you the biggest chance of actually getting a response. Because if you go through this whole long-winded thing of what you want from them, all this stuff, they're like, yeah, I don't care. So just say, hey, this person, don't lie about who you are. Say, yeah, I'm a realtor. Give me a call back at this number. That's the best chance you have actually getting a call back. But you don't just stop there. A lot of people don't listen to voicemails. So then you want to also leave a text. And if you have their number, depending on the kind of follow-up you're doing, or you have their email, depending on the kind of follow-up you're doing, also send an email. Try to follow up with them in 3 ways. Like I said, you want to attack all the different ways that people would like to communicate. Some people like calls and listen to voicemails. Some people text. Some people use email. So you want to hit them on all 3 if you really want to get their attention. Yes, Christopher.
How often are you using all the various mediums, or is it a field sport where you're kind of picking and choosing?
Field sport, well, first off, if they don't answer my call, that's the biggest kind of qualifier. If I have their email, that's a big qualifier. If the number I have is a landline or a number that I can actually text, that's a big qualifier. And really what it is I'm calling about, it's expired, not leave anything, no point. If it's a FSBO, I'm leaving everything and more. If it's someone in my database, depending on when they were last followed up with and kind of what phase they're in within our 33 touch program, I might leave them all that as well, just depending. It is a field sport. It's a field sport, definitely.
If this was on the TMC,
Yes.
are you calling them? I know this is being recorded, so. You might not, but is there a way to call them safely?
If I get my FSBO data from Vulcan 7, no, it's free. It's free. When it gets to Mojo, it's already screened. It's from for. I had to think about that. It's like I don't do it myself. I had to like really think and make sure that I was. So yes, it is. Do you have a question?
Yes. I'm sorry. Can you kind of please give people the one-liner phone call to?
Yeah. Hey. Oh, by the way, I didn't go over this. Tonality, energy is everything in these calls. Everything. We're talking about that more in role playing, but it is everything. It is paramount. If you oh, you're standing in a power pose. You're peacocking. You're putting your chest out because that's where the power comes from. If your lungs are open, there's more air filling them up. It's so much easier to have a projecting voice. Like you guys probably would assume that Chemos is doing that all day, every day. I don't know if you guys are in the office often. If you're in this wing of the office at any point the other day, you've heard this man scream. No, he's not yelling at people. He's just on the phone. He's just on the phone. It's crazy. But
You're saying you're standing loud.
He just loud.
I do both, but that's because I'm pretty loud.
Yeah. But the power pose is really, really big, guys. I role play with the power pose. I do calls with the power pose. I have a standing desk. I'm literally standing all day when I'm making my calls. Very, very, very big. Like I can tell the days where I'm just kind of tired. Maybe I play basketball, went on a long run that day. I actually sit down and I notice my voice kind of not projecting as much, not having as much energy. And you don't want that. You want to, give it your all 24/7 and make sure you're doing the best you can to set 150 appointments in a year. So power pose, guys, big thing. Yeah, let's talk about role play, guys. Who here role play? Wait, did I answer your question fully?
No, the one.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Hey, this is Trent Paul with Keller Williams Realty. Give me a call back at 678-216-3991. Then repeat the number.
That's it.
That's it.
Oh,
That is it.
More question.
There was another question over
To piggyback on what Kristen was asking, if they're a FSBO and they advertise their number
Mhm.
in a public media,
Mhm.
even if they're only do not know. this
Yeah.
is we call because it-
That's true. However, I found a lot of the times that all the numbers that you get whenever you export that data, you don't only get the number that's listed on the listing as the one to call. Sometimes they get like VoIPs, I think they're called, or it's like fake numbers to put on that. That way their number isn't publicly on the internet. Their personal number isn't on the internet for everyone to see 24/7 for the rest of their life. So sometimes people get, Google voice numbers or something like that. Sometimes you want to get around that. And sometimes they'll export the correct data from Vulcan 7 from those different lead sources. So Yes and no. Yes, that you're right, but not the number that you get, number that you call, the one that you reach them on isn't always going to be the one that was marketed.
My original one, the appointment setting organization, so are you saying that you do? Or are you?
Everything.
Okay.
I live in follow ups. Every day, it's the first thing I do, the first thing I open up when I get here in the morning, the last thing I close when I call.
Also, everyone, you can also have command. You have to use a service called Twilio. I think Andy Peters' team uses command, and I believe they use Twilio as well, but I would have to confirm. Oh, did he? Let's see.
Awesome.
Oh, wait, Andy's here?
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. look at
Fearless
that.
leader.
Wow.
All right. All right, guys, let's talk about the fun stuff. Role play. Who here has, well, who here, let's say, does role play regularly? We're gonna get a lot more hands up next time I teach this. Every time I see one of you guys in the hallways in the office, I'm going to ask you, did you role play this morning? I'm holding you all accountable, starting today, because I'm gonna teach you all how to do it effectively.
Challenged you to start a role play, right?
Ring, ring. What do you think I'm about to do, guys? All right, guys, let's pair up. You two, up in the back. You two.
Here we go. You know, you're the smartest cookie at the table, you gotta go to another table.
Yeah.
Troy's awesome.
All right, you gotta go.
Everybody's showing up for your class.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey guys. On Zoom.
Let's do this.
Actually, don't start yet, guys. I'm sorry. Just interrupted me. I do want to talk about actual role play tactics, how you want to role play first before we go into it.
Hold on, he's gonna.
We're gonna go over
Right
it.
it. You're right to do it.
Sorry, guys. So first off, first and foremost, if you want to be in that power pose, everyone stand up. Everyone stand up. Stand up, stand up. You're role playing. You want to do, if you're doing like a daily role play, every week you want to change it up. So one person one day, next day another person, another person, another person, another person. And next week you can kind of repeat the same order. You want to make sure you're dealing with different people so you get a taste of everything. You want to practice how you play. We've all heard it before. Don't dilly-dally. Don't make jokes. Don't be serious. You know, if you're the person that on the other end on the phone, you're the lead. Don't, you know, be funny. Don't try and make jokes. Don't be too overly mean. Don't be mean enough. Challenging for them. And then also, when you're role playing face to face with a person, not over the phone, you don't want to turn your back to them. You don't want to look at them. Because guess what? When you're on the phone with someone, are you looking them in their eyes? You're not. So you don't want to nonverbal cues. You want to focus on your voice and focusing on everything with your tonality and how you're kind of repeating and affirming and matching things and the repeat as well.
Would you agree the best way to learn is to?
Oh, if we're talking about, so right now we're talking about role playing. Practicing scripts and role playing are two different things. Role playing, you're doing a live script with someone else. Practicing scripts, you're just by yourself. Hey, this is Trent with Team Kimberly. Just practice it, learn it. Whatever you got to learn it and internalize it. Huh? Whatever you got to do, whatever is your little memorization
The
technique.
chanting is old school, I guess.
Yeah.
Chanting is old school.
Chanting is like an old school
Memorize.
thing. People were taught to learn how to memorize scripts. But however you memorize, whatever way you need to do it that way. Do whatever you got to do to write it out. Our specialists, they write out their presentations every day. Every day they got to write their presentations to memorize it. That's the biggest thing, is internalizing those scripts. Then after you practice them, after you memorize them, you start role playing them with a live person. Whenever you're the person on the other end, guys, when you're not the caller, you do want to be a little bit hard on them, but you don't want to be too difficult. And no matter what the objections are, whether they handle them perfectly or whether it's an absolute crap show, in the end, you do want to let them get the appointment, because we're not practicing to fail. yes, you're gonna fail, but when we're practicing, when we're role playing, we want to get the end in mind. We want to win because whenever we actually making the call, the goal is to win, right? So if we're practicing like we play, it doesn't make sense to practice losing. It makes sense to practice winning. And you want to always, whenever you're role playing, get to the entire script because it doesn't make any sense if you do the script and you only get halfway through and then you stop. You want to do the whole thing, get to the close, set the appointment, and then afterwards do your little appointment confirmation script. You guys look at the scripts that are in there. There's also literally an appointment confirmation script. And what that's about is first off, confirming the time when you're going to be meeting. If you're on a team, let them, if you're not saying, let them know, my specialist is the one that's going to be meeting with you. You want to get their email so you can send over that appointment confirmation. You want to confirm their beds and their baths and the square footage and any recent renovations, because whenever you're pulling those comps, you want to make sure you're getting the most accurate, right? You want to get good comps. And if it's listed on the tax records, it's a 3.2, 1,500, but really it's a 5.5, 30, 3,000, you're going to have an angry seller on your hands. So you want to confirm that for sure.
And one more thing, guys, when you're doing the role play, if you mess up, don't break role play.
Don't.
Because again, we're creating habits that we're gonna be practicing throughout our calls every day. And if every time we mess up, we stop and we're like, oh. That's gonna be your automatic default when you're on a call. But if you continue to work through it, you're gonna get that much better, that much smoother, and that's how you're gonna play on the phone as well.
Got it. And everyone, I'm sure we all have different skill levels when it comes to role playing. Right now, if you need to, just focus on getting through the whole script and saying it right. If you're really good at it, start working on matching, mirroring the other person's tonality and their rate of speech, as well as, well, this is the most important thing. I'm sure we've all heard it before. Practice like you play. And whenever we're making our real calls, we want to be smiling. We want our smile to bleed through the phone. That's why we call it smiling and dialing. We literally want to smile and dial. So that's another reason why we don't look at each other, because if we're just staring at each other's eyes, smiling the whole time, then we're going to break. So look away from each other, smile and dial, pick whatever script you want to use, whatever you feel like you need to work on. And then for 30 minutes, let's get through it. Oh my gosh. Hey guys, so once you just asked if I could actually do a role play with someone else just to start off and show you how it's done. If you guys want to do that.
I haven't done it, so
Chris, come up here.
Oh, waiting for a show now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the person who's called.
He's too good for it. I just want
I
you to
think we need someone else. Chris has been doing it with you for a long time. Chris already knows the drill. You know someone who doesn't know the drill?
Role play, guys.
Okay. Anyone else want to role play with me?
Thomas and Tree, Chris did great.
Go, Chris, go. Yeah, that's why we were
All right, Liz.
125 closings. You can go, Liz.
All right, so I'm doing a coming soon status change. Ring, ring, ring.
Hello?
Hey, good morning. This is Trent Paul with Team Kimberly Real Estate. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well.
Great. Well, my team is listing a home over on West Road, going on the market next Friday. I was just calling to ask, who do you know that may be interested in moving into this neighborhood and that you wouldn't mind becoming your neighbor?
Gosh, I can't think of anybody right now.
Oh, well, that's fine. Thanks for thinking for me. I appreciate that. But, history does tell us that when one home sells in a neighborhood, usually at least one or more soon follow. That's why I gotta ask, who do you know in your neighborhood that's thinking of selling?
George down the street said something about it, but I kind of doubt it. He's been saying that forever.
Got it. So George's thinking of selling, but you can't confirm that.
Right.
And is this George Stephanopoulos at 123 Main Street?
It's Steinbrenner.
Steinbrenner, got it. So I'm looking at the wrong George. Okay, got it. So do you mind if I give him a call and see if me and my team can be of more help to him?
Yeah, that doesn't matter to me. Yes, that's fine.
All right, well, I appreciate that so much. Now, how about you? When do you and your family plan on moving?
Oh my gosh, my house is so small, but I've always wanted to move, but I don't think we're ready.
You don't think you're ready? Well, how long have you lived at your current home?
9 years.
9 years. Wow, you must love it. Well, where did you move from, 9 years ago?
From another house across town in Dunwoody.
In Dunwoody? So you went from Dunwoody to Roswell. I mean, what made you pick this area over Dunwoody?
Closer to my kids' school.
Closer to your kids' school. Gotcha. Are they still in school?
Yes, they are.
Awesome. What schools?
Holy Innocents at Sandy Springs.
Oh my God, such a great school. Well, Liz, let me ask you this. In a perfect world, if you were to move, where would you think of going?
Even closer to my kid's school, that would be great, because COVID's over and traffic's bad.
Got it. So if you were to move, you want to go somewhere closer to your kid's school.
Yeah,
That's exciting. And when, how soon could you realistically see yourself making that?
probably 2 years.
2 years. Got it, got it. Well, let's say you could get, you know, the amount of money you're looking for in your home. Would you consider making a move sooner?
Yeah, I would.
Well, I mean, it only takes like 1 to 3 months in this market, which is wrong now, guys, but just so you know, this is the script.
6 weeks now.
Yeah, it only takes like 6 weeks in this market to get a home sold. Did you know that?
No, that's fast.
Yeah, that's crazy fast. So my question to you is, you know, could you possibly see yourself selling your home in 6 weeks and getting to where you want to be?
God, if I got out of my home what I would hope to get, yeah, that would be great.
Got it. Well, the good news is all we need to do now to get you one step closer to that point and figure out exactly what you can get for your home today is simply set an appointment. So me and my team can help you get what you want in the time that you want. Won't that be great?
That would be great.
So when are you available? I have 5 p.m. today available as well as 6 p.m. tomorrow.
Let's do 6 tomorrow.
6 tomorrow. Awesome. And then I'd go into the appointment confirmation script and then do all that. Thank you. That was great.
So you're telling me that you can talk to a complete stranger and they'll set an appointment for your team to come out and list the house?
They're motivated. Which, I mean, there's obviously, guys, listings, there's not a lot of listings. Sorry. There's not a lot of inventory, but there's people still getting listings, guys. They're out there. There are motivated people who want to sell their home. We just got to go out there and find them. We got to put in the work, put in the hours on the front end. That way we can get those listings. And that's how we do it. So let's go ahead and start role playing, guys.
Nice. It's a great example.
I mean, I had everybody,
Tell me about your neighborhood. Has it been a nice neighborhood? Definitely have a lot of people that's interested in this area. So try to decide on I know the area where market is for the so you have to sell the home. if you don't mind me asking, this time of year.
Wouldn't shut it down.
Okay, so I have to add, there was a specific advantage to using me, as an agency working your then I can hire you a higher sales price or make it up. Would you consider it? Oh, is it your team? Actually, and I would get you a higher sales price. I know you can sell your home as so you're rotating. I get a lot of agents calls. I'll just try to make
I want to let both parties get a chance to finish their own
Yeah.
I said, they only had 3 appointments.
I'm wrong to play, that briefcase now, but they're getting up there. Now, they're
But I would say that is how we live. Yeah.
Honestly, the people that the kids is looking for, and they want their own program. We put a lot of money into it. Other kids, we also play. And, we put a lot of time into our, it's our baby, the roots, we also
Also send you my resume. Agent information.
Hey guys, let's cut it a little bit short. I'm pretty sure that was enough time for everyone to get the run to at least once. So let's cut it short. Get back in our seats and let's. All right, guys, let's everyone get back in their seats.
I didn't get this one yet.
Well, hey, guess what? Guess what? That's why we do this every day. That's why we do this every day. All right, guys. Hey, guys, with a show of hands, who can tell me if they were a little bit uncomfortable starting off doing this? Just a little bit. You know what you noticed? You know what I noticed? everyone that raised their hand didn't raise their hand when I asked, do you do this every day? That's the thing. You do this every day, it gets comfortable, it gets easy, and once it gets easy, it gets fun. Once it gets fun, it gets exciting. It gets exciting. If you guys can find fun in role playing every day, your business is going to take off. These scripts will become internalized. They'll become just your daily dialogue. And you're able to have these conversations on the spot wherever and ever you go. That's the thing that's going to change your business. And it really, 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 really helps with our team. And I'm sure it's going to help all of you as well. And now that you guys kind of know the best ways to role play, I challenge you to try to find a way to get this done every single day. Every single day, it will truly change your lives. And if you're not lead generating already every day, what are you doing? First off, second off, start. You got to. You really, really want your business to take off. You got to be putting leads into your database every day and following up with those leads every day whenever their timelines come up. So now that you guys have all heard kind of the secrets and the tips that I have, I didn't share. I shared everything. I didn't share the secret sauce because there really is no secret sauce. You guys just got it all. It's just kind of sweat equity, put in the work on the front end. That way you can find success on the back end. That's really what it's all about. I started less than a year ago. And I put in the hours. I actually just looked it up today, just under 300 hours actual talk time in the last 10 months. Like not dial time I've spent with my voice box vibrating, my lips moving, words coming out of my mouth into a phone, and someone else hearing it on the other end. 300 hours, just under. Takes time. We'll get good at it. We'll excel at it, and it'll become fun, and you can't wait for the next 300 hours. So, guys, what are you gonna do now with this information? It's up to you. Throw it in the trash. And applause all to you guys for taking the time to come to this class because you understand how important lead gen is. So I appreciate all of you coming here and allowing me this opportunity to share what I know with you guys. And as a bonus for coming in here, I'm allowing you guys each the opportunity to be able to take a few minutes of my time to give any questions about these scripts. Just come by the Team Kimberly office. I'm usually in there prospecting all day long. If you need any questions about the scripts that I've given you, anything about how to navigate it, best way, best practice, anything like that, come by, ask me a question. All the guys that are in here have that ability. So thank you guys for coming in.
Big round of applause for Trent.
It's 2:59. I'm cutting it a minute short. I'm sorry. Thanks for it. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
I gotta go prospect.